So our learning goals today are to understand which components and libraries can be used to create a graphical user interface and understand how to add common graphical user interface elements to your projects. So I've called my program Widgets, which is basically what a lot of programmers term buttons and user components that we can use in our programs. If you look on the e-learning site, I posted a visual index of Java Swing components that you could take a look at. Originally, when Java was first released, there was something called AWT, which you'll remember is one of the packages that we could inherit from when we did key listeners. It was java.awt.events. So that AWT actually stands for Abstract Windows Toolkit. And it was the original Windows package that Java included with JDK. A lot of complaints about it. It ran slow, it looked ugly. So they added an extension package, Swing, that improved the Windows component. So they called their new Windows Toolkit Swing. So you might remember that we have used Swing in the past when we said Java X, which is X for extension. That's where the Java X comes in. So Java X.Swing, and you notice I've imported all of it into my project because we're going to create a JFrame. You can see all the list of things, but if I go star, I'm just going to import the whole Swing toolkit into my project. Now I've already got a basic project set up here that if I run, just opens up a blank frame that we've titled Widgets. Now, as always, if you look on the e-learning site, I've got a link to the Java API where you can look up all the classes and the functions and variables that are included in those classes. But we're going to start playing around with some of the widgets that we have available to us. And so the first widget that we're going to do is we're going to create a new J button. This is just a button. So I'm going to call it J button B equals new J button. And if you look on the API, there's several constructors. You can create a blank one if you want at the start, but one of the constructors that are included with JButton is one that takes a string that lets you set the text on the button. So when you're dealing with graphical user interfaces, widgets in Java, everything is kind of declared to be a container. And we're going to get to containers in a second. You're going to use it in a lot of them. So containers are just frames or windows that hold other widgets, buttons, including other frames or other containers. So it's a way of, the developers of Java set this up as a way to make it easier to kind of arrange how you want things on screen. So what we're going to do, before we can add our button to our program, actually, just to show you, if I run it right now, there's no button on screen because I've created the button, but I haven't put it on screen yet. I actually have to add that to the container for my frame, and you'll see that when you look at the index of swing components, the kind of the hierarchy of it. So before I can actually put my button on screen, I have to get the container that we want to put it in. And because we've created a JFrame, it's got its own container already set up for us. So container main screen get content pane. I should have said this.get content pane because this is basically when this command is creating a new variable called main screen, which is a container, which just represents this gray area in my frame. Right, this is the container. I just got it from the JFrame because we want to be able to add buttons to it. So then under main screen, what I'm going to do is I'll say main screen dot, and you notice right at the top, the first one is add component. I'm going to say add, and that button that we created, B. Main screen.add. Now if I run my program, you'll notice that now my program is a giant button called press me that I can press and behaves as I would expect it to do for a button. Obviously we haven't set it up to do anything yet. We don't have any listeners set up. So from there we can actually create a new button. I'm going to call this one JButton B2 equals new JButton. And just like before, I'm going to add B2 to the screen. I will notice our first problem. So now it appears that there's only one button on screen. Just like before when we were painting, you got to think about the order of events. Button 1 is still on there. It's just that we put button 2 on top of it. So actually if we could peel away the layers, we would see button 1 underneath button. So your challenge for today is to actually go through and add several different components. You can take a look at, again, the files I posted on the e-learning site to see different types of widgets like text fields, checkboxes, labels, etc. Get them on screen. But I've also posted a layouts document that shows you how to add layouts. So your challenge is to add a bunch of widgets to your program and get them appearing on screen together. So not one on top of another, but actually on screen at the same time.